In this video, I'm going to be showing another deck building process, this time with the electric or an electric variant deck. On the online Pokemon game. So basically, I've had a lot of people ask me how to build a good deck with the Pokemon online game. Right now, trading isn't up, so we're working with very limited cards, basically just what we can pull. Now, I may have a larger collection than many because I did have quite a few cards before the new version was released, so I was able to do some trading there. But this is going to kind of just show my overall thought process and when what I kind of do to fill in the blanks when I don't have a particular card that I'm looking for. I'm going to do some TCG tutorials in the future, but for now this is going to be kind of rough. So as you can see, as you can see, started out with 4 Tynamos. I decided to go with 2 of the Paralysis Tynamos and 2 of the Spark Tynamos because they can hit the bench, and sometimes that extra 10 damage early in the game is useful. The other big one is the 3 Dynamotor Electrics to attach the energy from the discard pile to your bench Pokemon. And I'm going to throw in, right now, just 2 regular Zekrom. I mean regular Zekrom as in, like, not Zekrom EX. Just as a primary attacker. That's my primary attacker, or I choose for that to be my primary attacker, pretty much because it's not an EX. It has a high damage output, and I'm not going to lose those 2 prizes. Mewtwo Wars are still very heavy in this format, so I'm throwing in the 2 Mewtwo. And now this was a favorite variant of mine, was Terrakion Eels, since their other eel decks are still very popular, as well as many Darkrai decks. I do like the Terrakion tech still. So really this is just a modification of probably my Nationals deck. Now, there's lots of other eel variants that you can run right now with Raikou EX, Zekrom EX, Rayquaza EX. So this is just one variant, and there's certainly many others. I don't think I have any Rayquaza EX yet, so that's one that I'd love to try out. I just I don't have that option right now. So right now I'm just kind of looking at as far as fillers. Because I don't have like a full playset of Ultra Ball or anything like that. I threw in 2 Emolga for a Call for Family to try and fill up my bench early in the game. If I don't need them, I figured they can always be, they can easily be tossed away with Juniper, Ultra Ball, something like that. So I'm actually not sure what I'm looking for right now. Yeah, I actually have no idea what I'm looking for right now. These videos were all made previously, and then I kind of came back to them to redo the audio over them. So, yeah, I have a feeling I'm looking for something that I just can't seem to find. And I'm not really sure. This actually isn't my first deck, as you probably have figured out, is the Aggron Durant deck. So it's not like this is my first time using the system. I'm just not quite sure what I'm going for. Yeah, it looked like maybe I was trying to go for N and didn't realize I was on the Pokemon section. So those are my basic Pokemon that I'm going with for now. I may go back in later and decide, I want to add in Zekrom EX, Raikou EX, another regular Zekrom, all sorts of stuff. But for trainers and supporters, this is where the big part of the deck comes in. 4N, I think, should be almost just pretty much in every deck right now. At least 3 Juniper in a deck. The 4th Juniper really depends on how comfortable you feel with, lots of discarding. I feel comfortable running 4 Juniper in Darkrai variants that run Sableye, since you can get your items back. However, I don't really feel comfortable running 4 Juniper in decks like Eels, where there's really no or very little recovery for essential items. If you have to Juniper away catchers, you're never going to see them again. So I also threw in 3 Bianca. I really love Bianca right now. I prefer it over Sharon just because I typically tend to draw more off of it. I did throw in 2 Random Receiver as well to help me draw into those supporters, and throwing in 3 Catcher. Still kind of considering the 4th. Now, Switch is going to be a much more played card in our current format than it had been previously. In Darkrai decks, you don't need Switch because you can just use your Dark Energy for your free retreat with Darkrai. However, with an Eel deck, if they bring up an Electric with that 2 retreat cost, you're either going to have to burn DCE, or if you have them, or use a Switch. And without Junk Arm to get those Switch back, are kind of screwed. So I also put into Sky Arrow for some free retreat. Looks like I also put in 4 level ball. Pretty much any type of search you can do, go for it. I'd love to probably put in a 3rd Ultra Ball right here, but I don't have them in on the online version, so I'll have to make do with just 2. And right now it looks like I'm at 41 cards in the deck. You know, I'm probably still going to add in another 12 energy, so we still have some spaces. Looks like I'm going to go with some Pokemon Communication, and that's Pokemon Communication is not really a card that I run in my tournament decks, at least not in a long time. However, in my online decks, I find that if because I don't have enough of a certain card, increasing my Pokemon to include a Molga or something else like that that I may not, you know, have run in a tournament deck, and then throwing in some communication to try and help search it out kind of replaces some of the Ultra Ball. Still not as effective, but it is helpful. So it looks like I did like 7 or 8 lightning energy. I'm kind of, you know, I don't really know how many DCE I should put in because I'd like to have the DCE for the free, or not free, but the retreat off of an eel, and the DCE are also great with Mewtwo. But I do need to make sure that I have some fighting energy in there to tech with Terrakion. And one thing, so I've got 57 cards left, and let's see what I decide to put in there. I'm going to go for a max potion. Looks like I'm actually going to go for 2 max potions, which really is not a bad idea. Darkrai decks are really big right now. Big strategy is to, you know, bring up and drag up an eel with a catcher, then you know, snipe another eel on the bench to try and build up some damage. If you can get rid of that damage, that will really help you out. But there's also lots of other things that other options that I could have gone with those last few spots. Could have gone for the 4th catcher. I mean, I could have increased my energy, energy switch, energy search, another random receiver, another supporter. That's the great thing about the game, is that there's lots of variants and lots of things to choose from. So I'm kind of just reviewing over my final decision, seeing if I want to swap anything out. And it looks like I do want that 3rd Zekrom in there, and obviously it's more than 60 cards, so it sends you this happy little warning. And so now I have to decide what I'm going to toss out for that 3rd Zekrom. And I'm guessing I'm probably going to drop a max potion. Oh, I realized I forgot to put in Eviolite. And this is a card that I sometimes like in Zekrom decks, sometimes I don't. So it looks like I'm taking out the 3rd communication and one of those max potions for that Eviolite and the single max potion. One of cards may not necessarily be a good thing in today's format since we lost our junk arms. However, I've also heard many people say that they love their one-ofs because there's many situations where that is very helpful. Again, it's a personal preference, and for the online game, we're just kind of playing around and working with what we have. So I hope this was helpful for some of you guys out there that may not have, you know, the collection to build exactly what you want, and maybe kind of some suggestions on how to work with what you have.